Cheers, cheers. I'm going to just say welcome, Shunqetta, to the Prosecco Please podcast. Thank you for joining me. We are in the Polish Agency podcast booth, which is kind of cool. I'm very thankful to them for sponsoring us. And I'm excited to announce my guest today is Shunqetta Cunningham. She is the owner of KHARIS Group Consulting, and I have a little bit of information about you more so than I even knew before. Shunqetta Cunningham is a public speaker and a leaves it all in the room consultant. Did I say that right? For nonprofits and social impact entities. She's an unapologetic lover of God, family, and advocate for social and economic equity. Fantastic. Shunqetta loves creating spaces and experiences for people to thrive and know she is assigned to help clients get to their next right step in income and impact. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Mia.
I love that.
Thank you.
I just think that encompasses, we're done here. That's what you really need to know. No, I'm sure there's so much backstory, so that's why I definitely love to introduce my guests, and give that kind of poignant little tidbit of information, but I also really want to get into the nitty-gritty backstory. So tell me a little bit about KHARIS Consulting Group and how you got started, please.
Awesome. So I'm going to take you all the way back for one quick second to 1985.
Love.
I know that when people see my name, it has no U in it. It's Shunqetta.
It is Shunqetta.
Yes. That's why I said we're going to take it all the way back. It started with an argument.
I almost asked you that earlier.
No, it's fine. But not my husband, Lord, he was being born too, right? But my mom went along with, hey, I'm going to name, you can name her Shunqetta, talking to my dad. And then my dad and my aunt had an argument. He wanted to be more cultural. My aunt was like, you should, she's here and in these United States, and what are you behind the name? So my dad won as being the father. So it's pronounced Shunqetta.
But there's no U.
Yeah, I know. Okay. But hey, I have to give that because you read it right.
Yes, no, I know. And I've known you for so long. And why didn't you correct me before now? Because I'm pretty sure I say Shunqetta all the time. Every time I see you, I'm like, hey, Shunqetta, how are you?
No, actually, you kind of go back and forth.
Do I?
Yeah, so it's all good. But heading to present day with KHARIS, and then here we go with another name.
Right? It's not KHARIS.
It's KHARIS. No, it is.
Oh, it is.
Most people would say KHARIS. I think it's like someone else's name. I started in 2014. I was working with the city of Jonesboro as a grant and planning project coordinator.
Sure.
And the opportunity presented itself to begin consulting with nonprofits. So I started doing grant writing for pro bono for nonprofits, just to get my name out there and to say, hey, I'm not associated with this entity anymore. I'm doing it on my own. And here we are.
That is fantastic. So at what point did you really just decide, I'm going to go branch out on my own? And were there struggles initially? Like, did you kind of question yourself a little bit? Tell me a little bit about that.
I did. You know how it is when you stay in a place too long.
Understatement, yes.
I enjoyed all of the experience of working with the city, and that's where I met my mentors as well. That's still present day mentors. But the environment itself, it did not become conducive for me to be productive. Not necessarily saying the city wasn't, because of course we have one of the greatest cities in Arkansas. But when you stay in a place on a personal level for too long, things can just start going haywire. And so they kind of did at the end. And I was like, Lord, I will take the leap. And I did. I would stay up working on my website. Did not have a clue. It took me about 2 months to work on my website because I'm trying to YouTube, young family. I didn't have the resources to do it, but
right.
Like I said, I took the leap, and then along the way, I've had people to come to my life at different stages to say, here's what you need to do.
Absolutely. You gotta be thankful for those people when they come along at that time, and because sometimes you find yourself just flailing, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but I'm just gonna kind of pretend that I do, fake it till you make it kind of scenario, and just, it's such a learning experience. But I wouldn't trade those moments, I don't think, for anything.
They're all teachable moments.
Absolutely. So what other challenges would you say, what was the most difficult situation that you've come up against starting your own business, getting your business out there and just being, in the community?
I would say two things. One, the discipline in entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Learning to be disciplined with my time, because there is a misconception that your time is yours. Now, I will say that I've had the flexibility, especially with a large family. That was my priority, to always be available and not being able to say, well, my child is sick, may I go and get them?
Right.
It's
right.
like, so now it's like, my child is sick,
You're there.
I'm
right.
gone, and if I'd stay at home, I'm home.
Right.
And that's not to knock anyone, but that was what I and my husband and I decided for, how we wanted to steward our family.
Sure.
So the first thing is discipline. The second thing I would say is the confidence in learning to be a CEO. I can say I am just starting in that phase. So a title does not mean that you are a CEO.
Understatement. Yes, it's there, and you kind of have to feel your way into it and grow into it and start owning it.
Yes, because you're everything at first, and so you start doing all those things that are not CEO-ish.
So
I'm making up a word.
So true. No, that's so true, because you're not used to, like, you're bootstrapping yourself and you're trying to figure out all of these things yourself, and it's hard to wrap your head around. Oh, and somebody told me the other day, they're like, well, you do know that you own the company, so you can pretty much, and I'm like, it's perspective, and the confidence, because, and I question myself, with that all the time, and I'm like, why not just kind of gradually embrace that fact and
just be.
So
I'm
true.
getting to that stage, and it's taking
one
years.
day at a time. It is. And I don't think it's ever going to be overnight. And we'll probably have to continue to remind ourselves over and over again that this is where we are, and this is our position, and to be proud of it, to have that confidence.
I can say, so since, we've been real and we, have all this greatness in front of us, if we had 3 or 4 hours,
Sure.
I would really dive deep into, I think it takes women longer to get in that space.
Yes, you can absolutely,
And I love me in it. I love you.
Yes.
I love my husband.
Not everybody.
And my son.
But I totally get it, and I'm not like, I would say I'm not a crazy feminist or anything. I love men. I respect men. I feel like men have the place in the household, and they're the head of the household, and I still absolutely buy into and respect all of that and where they are in business too. But you're not wrong. It absolutely is what it is with women in the workplace.
Yeah, it takes us longer to make the decisions, to have the confidence, and to again be in that CEO state, to where we don't ask for permission to lead.
Absolutely.
And we just do it.
Right.
And I'm guilty of it. That's why I can say it. But the hope is that anyone watching, to a woman that's watching, that to own your own greatness.
Absolutely.
We're not mistakes, we're not accidents.
Right.
So again, I'm getting to that. And with daughters, I'm intentional about sharing that, informing that mindset with them now.
Yes. How great that they can watch you, and like your whole family can watch you as you grow like that, and you're such an example for your entire family, not just your daughters, but your entire family.
Thank you.
I love that, and I just think that's such a great responsibility to embrace. But you mentioned women who are out there and really struggling. Like, I don't know if sometimes I feel like it's the South. Like I'm like people, if I go into places or go into a meeting or an investor meeting or, whatever presentation, and, I am taking the lead, and, I feel like sometimes you're looked at, and then you get those moments where you're like,
then they're like awfully quiet when you say something.
I deserve to be here.
Right.
And then they say, like, I deserve to be here. I deserve to, you asked me to, I've shown you what, we have and what we can do and what I can do. So it's just one of those things where you're like, I think things might be a little different in this situation, if it was possibly a man in the room. So, again, I have my CEO of my company is a male, and I cherish him. He's the yin to my yang. But I'm very thankful and grateful that as a female entrepreneur and as a female-owned company, and that I can, be proud of that.
Yeah, and we have to normalize, I think, that confidence, right? To where we're always being watched. And one of the things that I know, so the duality of not only being a woman, but then being a Black woman.
Certainly.
So there is an over preparation that we do. When we walk into the room, we already know what we're talking about. We already know why we're there, how we're going to take up space.
Right.
So it's just about being and doing, and not being apologetic about it, and then having fun with it.
Exactly.
Like
Don't
not having the pressure. Exactly.
Don't put so much pressure. I'm the worst.
Yes, and I'm so goofy. I will laugh, and then if I feel like there's an awkward silence, I will address it like, you just heard me.
Yeah. Yes, I do. And that's why we don't have a little bit of Prosecco. I'm just saying, because it's one of those things where, you gotta make it light and don't be so stuffy. Really, it's not about that. It doesn't have to be that way.
And I will call it out sometimes.
You have to.
Need to probably watch it at times. But most people know me like, listen, no, we're not doing that.
No, exactly.
We're not doing that.
Right.
We're all supposed to be here, so we're not doing that.
You're gonna challenge. You want to challenge me? Go
I
ahead.
will.
Yes, I will. And I'm just
I will
like,
answer.
set up a little taller, and I'm gonna look you in the
And
eye
I'm already
say,
6 feet tall, so it's like,
right. You're like, what did you say again? You command that respect.
because I give it.
Absolutely, exactly.
So I give
That's
it.
so true.
Yeah.
Because again, there's nothing about men or that, I have an issue with, or I just, I give the respect, but I do expect it in return.
Yeah, and it's men and women.
Right, absolutely.
Because we have to learn to be our own confidence, but the confidence for the fellow woman.
So true.
That it's not a badge of honor for you to be the only woman in the space.
Absolutely.
It's not a badge of honor for me to be the only Black woman in spaces.
Right.
You're taking up space to provide room for other people, whether they're male or female.
Absolutely.
And we have to get our minds that when we're invited to spaces, then we're like the anomaly of success.
Absolutely. Right. No, but we have to be that example. For sure.
It's like everyone come into the room.
Yeah, exactly. We're all here. Let's just hang out. Let's just enjoy this and grow together. I totally agree with that. Yes.
But that's part of the journey too, as well.
You've been in business a while. Is there anything you think that you do differently up to this point?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, wait, 2 weeks.
Like, how do we have time? How many glasses do we have? Because I can. Oh my word! Right from being more structured.
Sure.
I am the visionary, and I can be the executor for everyone else because that's my calling. That's my role to work with nonprofits. I know that I can get you from A to B, and I can show you those steps.
Right.
Child. When it comes to myself, it's like,
shut down a little bit.
Hey, what am I supposed to do? What's the ABCs?
No, exactly. It's so true. Yes, I totally. And I'm a big thinker, and I know that you are too. Obviously, with the direction that you want to take everything that you're doing. But to be that big thinker, and then you're like, let's just go. Let's go big or go home kind of scenario. Yes. But then we got to get there.
Yes, and so learning to be more structured and then get help sooner.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So much. I feel like I've wasted so much time by just not.
Same.
And I'm like, I literally have to remind myself all the time. And even this week, I was like, I am going to take action every single day. I don't want to be annoying, but there's no reason why so much time. Some things are not out of our control.
Yeah.
We get that.
Right.
But some things are completely within our control, and then we question and we do this, and we're like, oh, I'm a little bit more time go by. I have to remind myself of that almost every day. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and I will also say, along with being structured and getting the help, relinquishing control. I am that's a part of your makeup. If you're called to entrepreneurship or to be a founder or something, a part of it is the protection of the idea.
Absolutely.
Of the gift. It's like another child.
Absolutely. Oh, I call my child all the time.
Yes, it is. It's your baby. And you recognize even in real parenthood, that we're only stewards for a season.
Absolutely.
For them to go out and then to share their essence with the world.
Absolutely.
And again, I didn't have that mindset starting this. I can say it up for the past 6.5, 7 years, that maybe the last 2 years I've had that. Like, you need it to grow, because in its growth, it helps other people.
Absolutely.
So again, I can have a whole list.
Well, we'll do a little separate backstory show and
oh my word,
and just really open it up.
So it's a full day.
I was gonna say
breakfast and lunch.
We'll be coming back to you next week. It's gonna be a seminar, if you will.
Literally.
No, I think that definitely is something I want to dive deeper into at some point. But also, I always love hearing someone else's take on what their challenges have been, and it's inspiring that we're not alone, and that I'm not the only one that thinks that way, or has experienced that, or done it that way, or made that mistake, without a doubt. So I think it can be daunting to someone that's starting out. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, you know what? None of us did either, for sure. It's like birthing a baby and growing a baby, and you feel like you don't know what you're doing at times, but then when you slowly, gradually, see the growth. It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? We have to stop following other people in certain seasons as well.
Right.
When we're in this journey. And what I mean,
you mean
by
like comparing other?
Yes. To where comparison is really one of the most devastating things I can say to our own journey and our own authenticity of what it is we have to offer in the space. We start our business, they're always asking you, well, what's your unique value proposition, or what do you add to the market? And that can get tainted because we're looking at someone else. I can look at other consultants and say, oh my, they just have this masterclass on grant writing. And I'm trying to figure out, well, how do I do this? And while success leaves clues, so I'm a firm believer that we do need mentors.
Absolutely.
But when it becomes to where we are down on ourselves.
Right, or comparing yourself to that mentor.
And then you can't even, there's a block.
Seriously.
It stifles, your creativity.
Sure.
So sometimes you just have to say no to social media. I think you're doing great things. And sometimes people will say, well, can you share this and share that? Sometimes I've said, no, ma'am, I cannot. And that's not for you.
Right. No, absolutely.
I can't do it right now. I'm in a space to where, and I'll just be polite and say, hey, I'm taking a break right now.
Oh, absolutely.
But in my mind, girl, I want to see what you're doing right now.
I know. But to say no, though, that is a whole other conversation, to be able to say no.
But no is a complete sentence. We have to get comfortable with saying no.
Right. And hearing no.
Yes. Oh, that's a pin drop.
Just I don't know what just happened there. We're still recording. But yeah, seriously, to say it, but then to hear it, I've always said no is not a no. It might just be a not right now, or maybe another way, or just give it a minute. So that was huge for me to hear no so many times. And then it just made the yes so much more sweeter. Yeah,
and I have heard no. I hear no. Not have heard.
Absolutely.
I hear no
on the regular.
So much. Mm-hmm. No, that we can't work with you, or no right now, or no, it's always something. But I am also learning that a no is a no, for sure. And that the not right now could be, then how do I get people?
What's the next?
Yes. What will bring you to your yes?
Absolutely.
And that's what I did not understand about business starting out, because I used to take it to heart.
Oh.
I am a great facilitator. I'm a great speaker. I am a great grant writer. You don't need my services.
You're like, what? I don't know. What? Did you just...
And you're struggling.
Yeah.
I used to take it personally.
I know. You're like, and you're the one who's struggling. Yeah.
And then you came to me. So we can be very real, right?
Absolutely.
And on today, I used to take it very personal.
Oh my gosh, yes. You sleep at night, you're just curled up in a little ball, and you're like, I can't believe that just happened.
I know. I'm well, don't call me for your free consultation again.
No, we're and we're done.
But, wisdom, maturity.
It does, yes.
And knowing that, hey, people have offered you services.
Right.
and you understand your no.
Right, absolutely.
You may be pregnant with another child. Y'all know I have all these kids. So if you don't know, I have 5 children. So it's like different
Shunqetta
seasons.
has 5 children, ladies and gentlemen, and her own business, which is 6. And maybe her husband, that might be 7.
Listen, men, especially if they're sick. You know how it is when men get sick. I love you, baby.
Oh, yes. But seriously, they need all the attention. They need all the yeses. They need
all of it.
Right.
You know, and it's one time my husband told me, I love you so much, but I have to share this. So
here we go.
when he was sick, and he was like, you just don't understand the pain that I'm going through. Like, you know what? No.
Oh.
Not after 5 children. I don't.
No, baby. No,
I don't know. I don't understand at all.
No, you're right.
He's gonna be like, really? You said that? So yeah, all of that.
Yes. But
I love him so much. He's my best friend.
I know, and he loves you too because he knows
Yes.
he can take this.
Yes.
If it's not too painful.
Yeah. Oh my word! But you know, in that journey again, just that no is. I'm learning the tools and the skill set to overcome it.
Absolutely.
And to provide, because I know what I offer in this space.
Yes, yes.
And that again, it goes back to that confidence. I do know what I offer my clients. I do know what I'm intentional about offering my clients.
Right.
Hiccups along the way. You're not a perfect. There's Chick-fil-A even make mistakes, and Lord knows I love Chick-fil-A.
I mean, right?
I mean, it's as close as holy in business that you can get.
I mean, I'm just saying, next time I have Chick-fil-A, apparently they need to put down Shunqetta's notes.
Look, they can sponsor lunch right down, right?
I know, I'm just saying, I'm not too proud.
Yeah.
I need a chicken biscuit.
And so you recognize all of that.
Right, absolutely. Even some of the greatest, you know, corporations have so many have had so many failures and will continue to.
Yeah.
But they just again push forward and
and you learn from them.
Absolutely.
Well, how do they handle? And that's one thing I've just started to look at. Chick-fil-A is actually one of my business model mentors in my head.
Oh, wow.
Of course, I don't know the family and
sure.
all that good stuff, and but I look at how they've stayed authentic to their relationship with God.
Absolutely.
And then how they've just completely changed and upped the bar for customer service.
Understatement. Yes.
Oh my word. It makes you look at like, what am I doing?
And those real world moments. I mean, it's just like, how can you create an empire like that? And how do you model an empire like that? It's just really, really, it goes way above and beyond.
Yeah. So you can look at, if you're an entrepreneur or starting in this journey, I would say you don't have to be friends or directly associated with successful people that will come along in the journey.
Right. No,
just modeling. So,
exactly.
You know, it's a do or full. Don't model enough to where you compare and you get down on yourself, but model enough to where you can get all of those, you can glean from anyone. And honestly, I can learn from the worst leader too.
Right. I mean, because you're like, I don't need to do it like that.
Right.
I mean, seriously. Yes, for sure. Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Not only have those great mentors, but some of them that aren't so great, you're like, well, I'm not gonna do it that way.
Right. There are people like, I don't want to be that business owner. I don't want to be that consultant. And what I mean by that is what they offer their clients.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so, again, all of that, it's a continual learning journey.
Every single day. Something else I would say, there's forward motion every day, but also learning every day. And it can't ever stop, because if that stops, then you stop.
Yeah.
I want to be a sponge, but I also want to, I just want to make sure that I'm in those positions and so open to the failures and to the successes and all of it.
Right. And can I say one more thing?
Oh my gosh, please, we're
necessary
here.
For women.
We're here.
And for
I'm
me,
probably answering the next question, but that's
we have to learn how to rest.
Rest?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't know what that word is.
I was like, rest? Rest? Did you rest? Could you spell that for me, please? R what?
Right? It's like a whole nother language. Did we learn this, guys?
I don't know.
We didn't study that. So what is that?
Please share with all of us.
Seriously, I will tell you, I have been the worst what it is to slow down. I mean, it's like all gas, no brakes, until you are forced.
Right.
And I got sick.
Oh my.
Yeah, physically.
Oh gosh, yes.
Physically sick.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment and that stillness.
Was it because of was it because of everything that you had just kind of piled on, or was it like just an actual illness that
It
made
was
you?
an actual illness. Like I
That
had
made
this
you
whole
stop.
shebang. Yeah, I had to get a biopsy. So it was
my gosh.
all that. But thank God, just a clean report, all that. I thank God for that. But it was in the moment
Right.
that I recognized that I had not been treating the only temple that I would have
Understand.
great.
Yes.
Right? In
Yes.
order to do the work.
Right.
You know, we can always say we can do this and we can do that. And at the end, I do believe that we can do all things, but to everything there is a season.
Absolutely.
And I was trying to put all seasons into one.
Into one.
Right.
It's easy to do when you're trying to build something. It's so easy to do, and again, until maybe it's sometimes not too late, but it catches up with you that you're like, I need to pause.
It will.
And
Yes. And especially when your creativity is lacking.
Oh,
when you're in a space to where you can't think about what's the next great idea,
right,
and you're just kind of spinning, that's also an indication to where I may need to take 2 days off.
Right, and you can.
Like, oh my word, the first time I sent and made that vacation email, it took me like about 5 minutes to press save.
Let me just do that. What is going on here?
I was just like, okay, Shunqetta, send it. Like, set the vacation reminder.
I was gonna say, and then you're like, should I have done that? I'm sure how many times during that moment, those 2 days, were you just like,
yes,
do I need to check?
Yes, so every month now, I'm purposing that 2 days. It is not like a Saturday and Sunday.
Right,
those
I was gonna say, those are given.
No,
absolutely.
It's like a Monday and Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. I'm like, yeah,
it's time. Absolutely. I know somebody was like, we should do this and you should do this, and what about, a self-care day, and then you might need to go and just go get a massage. You're super stressed about everything, and I'm like, I can't take time to do that. And they're like, but wait, yes you can.
Yes you can, and you don't even need a full explanation of this term, because
nobody needs to.
People say wellness, you can call it whatever you want, or we just say it's rest. Whatever I do in it, I'll figure that out too.
Right, but it's necessary.
Right, even if it's just reading a book. I love reading a book. I actually love going to Craighead Forest, like right here in our city.
Love that.
Literally will find my favorite spot because I can see like the trees, and like there's just the line of like where the horizon, it's just like, it's a perfect spot to where everything to me just blends in, and I just sit there.
You found your oasis.
I did, and
that
I will
you can reset and read.
Yeah, or I just look. I look at people,
mm-hmm.
and I just try to figure out people's lives
when
they're running.
People watching, there's no shame in that, right? What are you running?
Like, I bet, right. Or like, how many dogs do you need?
So they're running, but the dogs are pulling.
Right. It's just not even like, sometimes it's not even like all this greatness. Like reading the next book or something. Sometimes just like being nosy.
Right. And you just get up all in your head and you're like, I think I might need
just
to.
Making up stories.
Yes, I know. You definitely need to not be wearing those shorts. Maybe.
Right. Like, it's too cold out here, and that's all.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But you need those moments.
You do need those moments. Oh gosh, that's the comical moments that you find that just refresh you a little bit. I think, especially no matter if it's a conversation in a room or like your own personal time.
Yeah,
I think it's important to keep that. For sure.
Yeah.
Gosh, what would be something you would tell specifically to someone who's just got the vision and just really starting to think about dipping their toe in the water? What is something that you would share to inspire someone to take that next step?
Yeah.
And have that faith and confidence.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many.
I know.
The list is just going to populate.
Yeah. Right. Take the next right step. So we can already be at Z when we haven't completed J.
Absolutely.
So take the next right step.
Right.
Like, and Oprah said that. That's one of my mentors.
Oh,
she doesn't know that yet. Michelle Obama, who is my best friend, and I have to share this. So when she sees all this, she's like, "Yeah, you're meant to be."
Absolutely. We will hashtag and add all of it. We're gonna add all of it.
Yes, Michelle Obama, her BFF hashtag my BFF. That's the hashtag
That's
I
it?
created.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, one day.
It's a thing.
So
Like, you use this now, don't you?
Yeah.
You currently. You're putting it out there.
I
You gotta
am.
envision.
Hey.
You have to envision these
Yes,
things. So
yeah.
they'll become a reality.
Yeah, but I will say, take the next right step to where if you're given instructions, my pastor always says this, and it's applicable throughout every phase of our lives. We don't deserve the answer to the second question until we complete the first task.
Absolutely.
So just take the next right step. If the next right step is setting up a business meeting with a consultant that you want to work with, or looking at a webinar, take that next step.
Right.
You know, and then from there, take that next step.
Educate yourself.
Yeah,
Just
get some jump steps.
Right.
Because I've done it.
Get the momentum going.
Right.
To just like immediately to sprint.
Yeah, because you'll be back to the step that you should have taken.
Exactly. Inevitably, you'll always go back there and you're like, oh, I should have done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. What's next for you? I know you have like this amazing empire and so many goals and layers to KHARIS Consulting Group. What is the next step for you? What's on the horizon?
So the immediate is to get through the 6th annual Nonprofit and Business Summit. That's Friday, March 4th at the Glass Factory. So year 6 for that.
That's fantastic.
Yes, and so that's the immediate next step.
Absolutely. Where can we find out information about that?
So on Facebook, under KHARIS Group, KHARIS.
Great.
Also on Consult KHARIS, KHARIS.com, and you'll find information about the summit there. So the immediate step is for that to be successful because of all the great speakers and the great attendees that will be there.
Right. Tell me the name of the summit again.
So the 6th annual Nonprofit and Business Summit.
That's exciting.
Yes. So I am excited about that as well.
I'll have to buy my ticket.
Yes.
That's so great.
And then from there, I am in an evolving stage. I am adding a nonprofit component to the business.
Okay.
To be able to further do the work that I really want to do with entities that cannot work with me right now, but I do know they need the help.
Oh, beyond, yes.
Yeah.
It's so huge.
Yeah. And so that's the next step of just really planting, being able to see. I love to see transformation. And I don't want to be only the consultant that's working with businesses that already have it.
Sure.
I would love to work with those that say, I don't have just a clue, but I know I need to get to you.
Right.
And so being able to take them through that journey.
Right. I think those resources are so important, and that's just kudos to you for wanting to be one of those resources, because when we're starting out, a lot of people don't have that budget yet. They can't afford to have that extra layer of support or consulting. And I get it. Like I've told people, like, no, I can't. I'd love to hire you, but I can't because I have no budget right now.
Yeah.
So I think I absolutely echo that is so important to have resources and to utilize them.
For sure. And then to recognize I have to eat. But
I'm just going to serve. You can't just give away everything for free.
Right.
It is a business, but it's so important to have that philanthropic aspect too to support. Yes.
Yeah. And to get them to the place. Like, this is not the place to where you stay.
Right.
In that service and in that space, is to get you to be profitable and to thrive. Nonprofits, I say that's a tax exemption status, but that should not be our financial status.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's to get them to that place.
Right.
And from there, so I will just come back on this next journey. I have to come back and share with you.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. No, this is not a one and done for sure.
No.
It's all about, I really feel like I want to develop relationships with women in business and female entrepreneurs. And so it's an ongoing layer of support for everyone else who's considering it, but also because we're all in this together.
But you're doing that. You have the heart. You are doing that, and it's a journey. I know. With the podcast and different meetings you set up, you really are doing that in that space. So just keep doing the work, because we see it, and all of it will begin to just like, it will make sense. Yes. But we need you in those spaces. You know, I have Over a Cup, and that's a networking group for Black women entrepreneurs because that's a needed space in this community.
Absolutely.
It's also a needed space for women entrepreneurship in general.
Absolutely.
And to be able to have that person or that group that they can go to, so you're creating that space. So just keep doing the work, honey.
I have a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah.
And my own business is just, it's just, I've had some great aha moments and wow moments in the last couple of weeks.
Awesome.
And I have so much to be thankful for. And I want to layer it on and just have a huge network of support for all of us. And so we can grow and share those successes together for sure.
You will.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, you will.
I can't tell you how pleased I am that you agreed to come and be my guest and share a little bit. And again, there will be more for sure. There will be so much more. I will definitely be talking to you soon. And if you want to go and register for the summit, please go check out KHARIS Consulting.
So consultKHARIS.com.
Yes.
That's on the website, but
Right.
KHARIS Group is probably easier to go on
just search
KHARIS Group.
Group on Facebook
Yes.
for sure. And we'll post a link.
Yes.
We'll post a link for sure so you guys can just have access to that for sure. Thank you again, Shunqetta.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on. And I'll just do a final cheers.
Awesome.
And we will
Thank
keep
you.
up and cheers to the future.
All right.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, we'll talk soon.